This winter weather is a perfect time to take advantage of watching a new film that you have not yet seen. So join me now as producer Charlie with all the latest in the world of films. Where do we start?
Okay, so we had two big ones I feel like come out this weekend.
Yeah.
So first up, we're going to start with a little superheroes.
Okay.
So we have Captain America: A Brave New World.
Yes.
Now this is the 35th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So,
Interesting.
So if you haven't watched them, you've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
So for this one, though, we follow Sam Wilson as the new Captain America when he finds himself in the middle of an international incident. He must discover the motive behind the nefarious global plan. So Anthony Mackie returns as Sam Wilson, who now has the mantle of Captain America.
Okay.
He's joined by Carl Lumbly, Danny Ramirez, Giancarlo Esposito has a role, and then Harrison Ford makes his MCU debut as well. Yes.
Okay.
So Ford actually takes over the role of Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, replacing William Hurt, who had the role before that, but Hurt passed away in March of 2020.
You know what I respect about Harrison Ford? Is that man, in his older age, when he should be retired and enjoying because he's had such an illustrious career, he is continuing to surprise us by showing up and taking on more roles.
Well, you see a lot of people joke about how Harrison Ford, when in his interviews, are like, man, I didn't really care.
Yeah, like, doesn't
I just came to work.
Yeah.
I saw in these interviews he actually really enjoyed doing this role. So I think it's because of something a little bit different for him. You know, he's been in the Star Wars universe, but superheroes in Star Wars have that bit of difference too.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. I love it.
So this actually takes place roughly around 3 years after The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was where we saw Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson take on the mantle of Cap after Endgame.
Okay.
I know this is probably foreign to you because I don't think you follow the MCU.
I was going to ask so many questions, and I'm like, I'll save it for after.
Now, I will say I consider this more of a sequel to 2008's The Incredible Hulk than I do from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
So if I would definitely recommend you need to see The Incredible Hulk before you watch this movie.
Pro tip.
I was curious why it wasn't actually a Hulk movie. It's because Universal Pictures actually owns the distribution rights for the Hulk.
Oh, that is interesting.
So Marvel can't release a standalone Hulk film. Which I'm kind of like, I'm surprised you haven't bought those rights back yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is a very enjoyable movie. It's gotten a lot of hate online for really no reason. I feel like there's some political reasoning in there, which I will leave out of all my reasonings for stuff. But it's an enjoyable movie. It's not the worst MCU movie. It's not the best, but it's still an enjoyable film.
All right.
And I will say, I feel like in the trailers, they should have left the Red Hulk as a surprise. Because that's kind of what the story builds up to for the most part, but you already know it's coming from the beginning.
I have to say, I think that speaks to the way movies are being marketed now, because this is the second or third time you've said this recently. So I'm like, let's maybe be a little bit more intentional on what we're putting in the trailers.
But I saw somebody comment that it's more was a fanfare to get people to, the draw.
That's
fair.
If
people didn't know, they're like, oh, I don't
You're
care.
luring them in a different way.
So I mean, I understand it, but at the same time, I would rather be surprised.
Yeah. What about the budget on this one?
So this budget was 180 million, and for its opening weekend, it already made 192.4 worldwide.
It's fine.
Right. So the projections were like 40 million, and it's just surpassed it.
I love that. Okay.
So moving on, we have Paddington in Peru.
Paddington in Peru.
So this is the third installment in the Paddington series.
Okay.
This is an adventure comedy because it follows Paddington's return as he goes to Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy.
Okay.
But the whole Brown family goes with him as well, and they end up being entangled into this thrilling adventure when a mystery is plunged upon them.
Yes.
So Hugh Bonneville, Madeline Harris, Samuel Jocelyn, and Julie Walters return as some of the members of the Brown family, but Emily Mortimer actually replaces Sally Hawkins, who played the mother, Mary, in the first two.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly why the switch up, but you have the additions of this one too is Olivia Colman, Antonio Banderas.
Okay.
Great additions.
Yeah, I love that.
It took me a second to recognize Antonio. I was like, is that him? Because his voice is
Voice is
very,
so
very
iconic, yeah.
But like as he's gotten older, he looked a little different, I thought.
Okay, fair enough.
This is a very fun one as well, but I would say these first two are better in my opinion. But that's kind of how things go, you know.
Sure.
The original
They
on
say
top,
that
and then
the first one's always the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does have a fun little mid-credit scene though, so stick around for that. It was very good. And a fourth film's already been greenlit, even before the third one was released.
Where's Paddington going next?
Who knows?
Lord.
The worldwide, this has made 131.8 million so far with a budget of 90 million. So based on these two with the worldwides, Valentine's weekend did great.
I love that for them. All right, what else?
Now, moving on to this weekend, we have your favorite, a horror movie.
Oh, man.
We have The Monkey. Then we have The Cleaner with Daisy Ridley in it.
Okay.
And then The Unbreakable Boy.
What about streaming?
Streaming, kind of small still. But
Okay.
Friday, surprisingly already, Nosferatu drops on Peacock. I
Interesting.
thought that was very, very quick. It's been like almost 2 months probably now at this point.
Yeah.
And then also you have Elevation, another Anthony Mackie film on Max dropping
Well, good
Friday.
for him. He's
So,
having his moment right now, I
right?
guess. Yes.
Right.
All right. Well, as I said, you guys, it's going to be cold this week, so take advantage of it. Watch it. Go to the theaters if you can make it out safely, or watch something on streaming and Unscripted. We'll be right back.